4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
This is Movies First with Alex First.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to end all MCU movies. That's how I view the culmination of 22 films that started with 2008's Iron Man, which was undoubtedly one of the best. Each has done very well at the box office. 6 have grossed more than US $1 billion, and collectively it's the most successful movie franchise in history, with box office receipts totalling more than US $19 billion. I confidently predict this will become the highest grossing film of all time, an honour which currently rests with Avatar, which has collected nearly US $2.8 billion. Endgame's storyline brings in all the MCU characters, with some featuring more prominently than others, perhaps not all of whom you'd expect. It follows on from last year's Avengers Infinity War, the highest grossing superhero film of all time, which took more than US $2 billion. That ended when the Avengers were soundly beaten by the dastardly Thanos, who, after collecting the 6 Infinity Stones, imposed his will on all humanity. Incidentally, those stones are coloured blue, yellow, red, purple, green and orange, and represent space, mind, reality, power, time and soul. With the stones together, Thanos randomly wiped out half the world's population, including many of the Avengers. So, in the aftermath of the destruction, the remaining Avengers are faced with finding the resolve to fight back, and that involves time travel. In short, the first half of Avengers Endgame is spent on the sense of loss felt by each of the remaining Avengers, and the second half is about payback. The most prominent characters are Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., Captain America, Chris Evans, The Incredible Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, Thor, Chris Hemsworth, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, and Captain Marvel, Brie Larson. That's not forgetting War Machine, Don Cheadle, Thanos' daughter Nebula, Karen Gillan, Akayo, Danai Gurira, and Rocket, the voice of Bradley Cooper. Gwyneth Paltrow returns as Pepper Potts, while Josh Brolin is again the fearsome presence of the villain Thanos. Based on the Marvel comic franchise first published in 1963, Avengers Endgame continues the adventures chronicled in Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, Black Panther and Captain Marvel. While Infinity War was very much Thanos' movie, all about his success, this sequel swings back to the Avengers. The screenwriters are Christopher Markus and Stephen McFeely, who have a long history with Marvel Studios, and the directors Joe and Anthony Russo. They made both this and Infinity War at the same time. Markus and McFeely have collaborated with the Russo brothers on all 4 of their MCU films, and they've written more movies than anyone else in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so they know the characters back to front. Let's put it this way. The plot is character dense. I counted more than 40. As I mentioned, not all of them are given equal treatment or billing, but plenty have large roles to play. Not surprisingly, much rests on the shoulders of Tony Stark/Iron Man, and Downey Jr. does not disappoint. Let's just say he's in a very bad place to begin with.
You're listening to Movies First. For more, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I particularly like the new lease of life given by Ruffalo to Bruce Banner/The Incredible Hulk, while Hemsworth's fat Thor, he's really let himself go, is a real crowd pleaser. Much too revolves around a rather circumspect Captain America. Humour is an integral part of the MCU universe, and there are some truly delightful scenes in here for aficionados of the franchise. The writers have also managed to inject pathos. You might even shed a few tears. Endgame has much greater depth to it than some of the earlier films, and it benefits as a result. While you can see it without having seen the others and still make some sense of it, it certainly helps if you went along to at least Infinity War. It's long, very long, but for the most part, that didn't concern me because I was involved in the narrative arc. Only when they started wrapping up several of the key characters did the extended running time become more noticeable. Still, Avengers Endgame is a ripper. It scores an 8 out of 10.
You've been listening to Movies First with
Alex First.
Subscribe to the full podcast at Stitcher and iTunes or your favourite podcast distributor. This has been another quality podcast production from Bytes.com.